his time has passed. He got into office before the shuttle started flying. 30 something years later, when the shuttle retired, he's still there, and he's just a fixture. And he's just an opportunist, a player, an insider, and just the kind of thing that America doesn't need right now to fix the $19.4 trillion debt we have and some of the messes we've created. And I can just go on forever about why not to vote for him, but I can just give you one really good reason to vote for Kelly Ward. And that is, no matter what happens with the presidency, we're going to need a very strong Senate, and that is a co-equal branch of government, the Senate, House, with the judicial and with the executive. And things are kind of twisted around now, where Obama just thinks he's the legislature, and the judges think they're the executive, and the legislature itself is just absent. And the reason is they fear the ramifications politically of taking on the first black president, Barack Obama. And unlike Obama, Trump's going to find out when he gets there, if he gets there, that orange is not a protected color in D.C. like blacks are. And I'm just being honest with you. It's going to be there's no way that whoever wins it, be it Clinton, going up against the Judicial Watch for discovery of email truths, or Trump, who's a constitutional illiterate. Neither one of these guys are going to last a year. So thankfully, both have picked very good vice presidents, and I think both will do very well with their vice presidents to take over until 2020, until we can regroup, get somebody like Ted Cruz in there, and make America really, really, really great. Because it already is great, but you know, just everything about Trump has just rubbed me wrong. You know, we saw back in Venezuela a nationalist populist guy who came in named Hugo Chavez that wore the red hat and said, "Let's make Venezuela great again." And what he did was he nationalized all the businesses and took control of everything, and basically just ruined the country. And now Venezuela is the most dysfunctional wreck you can even imagine. People, they can't produce anything. They have nothing to trade with. It's just a total mess. It makes Moscow, with the old breadlines days and the empty store shelves, look like a dream place. That's how bad it is. And that's what happens when you have macro control of the country from a centralized point. And it's just, Trump talks a good game. People have every reason to fear for their lives. Right over there in Mexico, there's people coming across, ISIS coming across, drugs coming across, and there actually is a border fence. And I've said many times, I'm not so worried about the fence itself. The Customs and Border Patrol Agency here in Arizona, and I know these guys inside and out, they're doing the Lord's work here. JTF West, Joint Task Force West, is doing the Lord's work here. They're catching these guys. What's happening is, under the Obama doctrine, these people are caught, rounded up, put into cells for a little bit. Buses come down, little white buses look like prison buses, take them up to anywhere from Tucson to Omaha, drop them off with little papers saying you are ordered to appear in your immigration hearing on such and such date, and they never show up. They've already disappeared into the shadows. They get to sanctuary cities like Tucson if they have to, and nobody has the political will to do anything about these guys. Well, I've said before, immigration is very easy to fix. What you got to do is figure out, first of all, somebody is housing these people. And like I said last time I was over at Montezuma or Monument Pass, these people live somewhere. Somebody's putting them up. And when I had to get a place to live, no matter where I was in the States, I pretty much had to give away my entire life history, background, everything. Very hackable stuff. It's already in China thanks to the opium hacks. But people had to vet me to move anywhere. And somebody is not being forthright in vetting these illegals that live up here. It's just a blatant, in-your-face violation of the law as it already exists. The laws are already on the books to take care of this. They're just not being enforced. Even the wonderful Mexican friends I have up here, and I have many, are kind of getting torqued off right now that these guys are coming up from the south, driving down their wages, and cheating the system. And I have a lot of friends in Albania and other countries that would love to come here and are waiting patiently to do it the right way. And they're kind of torqued too that these politicians are turning a blind eye for for both the U.S. chamber vote and for the fact that the Democrats have aborted so many since 1973 that now that they're would be at voting age, they're not here to vote, so they have to import illegal voting blocks. And don't say that illegals don't vote, because they do. When it comes to that 270 required for the Electoral College to pick the president in November, well, guess what? The population pool that distributes the Electoral College actually takes into consideration residents who are here illegally, and so that also plays a factor in foreign interference in our affairs, and that's even more blatant than what Russia's doing. So, with that having been said, we have to find a way to find these people who are housing the illegals, punish them severely under existing law, find these people who are employing illegals, and most of it involves very illegal human trafficking. Find these people and punish them severely. And you take out both the people who are housing and employing these illegals, I guarantee you're going to see a great sucking sound going south of illegals going back to where they can get a job and live, and even in miserable poverty. Now, I've been no fan of Pena or Vicente Fox or anybody before that, because these guys are actively moving their poorest to poor up here deliberately, and they're exporting their undesirables up here on purpose, and that's their policy to cleanse their country instead of taking care of their problems, and that's not on us to fix. We also have things going on in Nicaragua, Belize, El Salvador, Guatemala, all that stuff's coming up through here. Well, Mexico's being a co-conspirator in that, because they're allowing free passage, sometimes even paying for it, for these guys to get all the way up from Central America in through Mexico and then up here. So it's just a big problem, and it does have a very easy fix. And you know me, I've looked at all these different places that the United States has been involved with over the years, from Iraq to Libya to here and there. Our greatest national security threat is actually right through here, because, and I agree with many people who say that we shouldn't worry so much about vetting ISIS within the Syrian refugees or the Ethiopian or Eritrean refugees that are coming across into the Mediterranean countries like France and Italy and Spain and Greece and Turkey. We shouldn't worry so much about that as worried about the guys that are just doing the easy way and coming up through the border here. And so there have been cases in the past where they've caught ISIS characters, bad players, coming up through the border. Border Patrol has actually caught them. If they bust them to places of refuge to appear in court, I don't know. Probably not. I think they probably get a little more of the attention that all of them deserve. But yeah, it's happening. And so we need to take this seriously, but we need to take it seriously from a practical standpoint. And you keep hearing all these politicians saying, well, we can't, this is how disingenuous the politicians are, we can't export 11 million people that are here illegally. Well, first of all, when you say 11 million, you're using 2006 numbers, and that's, first of all, the first part of the disingenuous argument. I would say it's much, much higher than that right now. And the second thing is, you can't they tell you that you can't do anything to fix the border except for build a big fence. Well, the fence is already there. Like I said, there's probably Border Patrol guys right now on speakers, IR sensors, zooms, cameras, just watching me film this right now. I have no doubt about it. I mean, they love me, so they kind of know what my gig is. So they don't care, and they know I'm going to show it. I'm going to link it to them on the Twitter anyway. But we have a secure southern border, believe it or not. We really do. What we have is an insecure Washington. These people, through the Democrats or through K-Street, are enabling this. It's driving down wages. It's destroying black neighborhoods. These DACA dreamers that came through are now taking jobs that other minorities rightfully deserve for being citizens. And it's just all part of a game that's being orchestrated by Washington. And so Kelly Ward is the one who's going to actually take a really good look at fixing this. And she doesn't care about the the pharmaceuticals or the other lobbyists that try to go in there and force her to do their will and offer a big campaign bribe in return for legislation that goes their way. She doesn't do that, and that's why I really think that we need to get rid of McCain and bring somebody like her in there, and specifically her, because I've known her for more than a year now personally, and I just adore the work that she did in the state Senate. And I really think, honestly, you guys really ought to do whatever you can to vote for her on August 30th. Now back to me. I really hate to talk about me very much because you guys have heard the same thing over and over again. But last Monday was my last day of chemo, at least on this round, unless it comes back or metastasizes. I've had a really rough time with radiation. I've lost a whole lot of weight. Right here you can kind of see, I showed you before, this little cross marks where they're doing the radiation. They hit it from here, here, and then here by this photon beam that goes into pretty close to gamma ray status. And with that, the photon beam is actually cutting up this tumor. You can really feel it now. The radiation just drains me. The good thing is it's originally scheduled to end on Tuesday or Monday. They actually added 3 more days, so now Thursday will be my last day of that. At that point, I'm going to try to figure out how to get my weight back. I'm trying to figure out how to get my strength back, my endurance, and my attitude's there. My faith is there, but I'll tell you what, after that radiation, sometimes it takes 3 or 4 hours to get home. I just have to rest. But it's going to be a pretty good time in the next month where I can actually recoup. I'd have to go through the radiation that drains me and see if I can get really strong and back to full strength so I can undergo the surgery they have planned now at the end of September. It's going to be a 10-day inpatient stay. They're actually going to cut out this whole section through here of the tumor and surrounding areas in the esophagus. Then they're going to do a little stretch job and sew it up, and I'm going to be inpatient, as I said, for 10 days, and another month unable to work, at least physically, maybe remotely I can. Another month of recuperating in a convalescent state here in Cochise County, which I really look forward to. The Liberty 72, as I said, has been shut down, but that's going to give me an opportunity to even try to make the script a little bit better. There's some changes I need to make for a practical standpoint, and I'm going to do that. But I think that I'm going to come out with the best movie that you have ever seen.